Hi, Grace Church. In the last few weeks and months I've felt increasingly challenged to share with as many people as I can about Jesus' love, about the love of God. Maybe you've been feeling that way too. Even if you haven't though, I'm hoping that this short video will encourage all of us even more how we can just share God's love with other people. Last Friday I had a really positive conversation with two people. There is a backstory to that in that a few weeks ago when we started the new prayer meetings on Wednesday evenings where we pray specifically about sharing God's love with people and thinking about how Grace Church can get involved in social action type projects. At that prayer meeting, Rachel told us about how she'd been to Bletchley and how she'd spoken to people who were sitting on benches there. And immediately in that prayer meeting, God said to us, bench sense. That makes no sense to anyone, but it seemed right to us, and we spoke about it, how we could go and sit on a bench, perhaps where someone else was sitting, and use that as a prompt for us to talk to them about them, about their life, about our life, and ultimately begin to talk to them about Jesus. So we went away from that meeting saying, yeah, we're going to have a go at this. Well, in honesty, I chickened out several times for the next couple of weeks. I think I missed at least 2 opportunities to go and sit with someone on a bench and chat with them. But then I also went to Bletchley with Nathan, and although it was scary, I did speak to one lady there. So it's all been a bit of a progression in terms of my wanting to do this, but just feeling a bit scared about it and a bit wooden. However, on Friday, I did have a conversation with 2 people. I had to take Tony to have his vaccination, and they wouldn't let me inside, so I had to wait outside. So I walked away from the door and looked to my left, and lo and behold, there was a bench and a gentleman sitting on the bench. Somehow, immediately, I just said to myself, that's where I'm going and that's who I'm talking to. And so I went to sit on the bench, which was slightly damp. I spoke to this gentleman just about ordinary things to begin with, just about the nation, vaccinations, and we got on to how third world countries were not getting any vaccinations. So it was an easy conversation, that's what I'm trying to say. I didn't immediately talk about Jesus. He told me about his niece who works in an African country, working in a school, and how she'd be home soon, but she wanted to go back there. We talked about Abby being in Cambodia with Sam and the children, and how they take bribes very often. Abby had just told me that they had been stopped by the police at one of their checkpoints, and the police obviously wanted a bribe to let them go. Abby said she was praying, oh God, please help us get through here because I don't want to give them a bribe. And as she was praying, a guy in a little taxi thing shot through the checkpoint, crashed his vehicle. The police all went running after him and said, you can go, you can go. So we were talking about how, you know, God can intervene in things. So that was a good thing to just be able to share. But ultimately, he told me about his circumstances, I told him about my family and my circumstances, and eventually I asked him, have you ever heard of Alpha? He said no. I said, do you do online things? He said yes. So I said, have an Alpha leaflet. Here, come and join us next Tuesday. You never know, he may do. But I just felt that that was such a natural and easy conversation, and it came out of the fact that he was sitting on a bench. When we were at the prayer meeting, and there was these words, bench sense. It was like when we sit on that bench, God, there will be a sense of God there, and God will give us a sense of that person. And I actually did feel a sense of the Holy Spirit with me as I had that conversation. I really enjoyed speaking to the guy. His name's Bob. So pray that he'll be at Alpha, and if not, pray that someone else will also speak to him about the love of God, because that's how it works, isn't it? And then it didn't stop there. Off he went, and he shook my hand as he went. And another lady came and sat on the bench. I thought, oh, here we go again. And I had a lovely conversation with her. I didn't give her an alpha leaflet. I didn't feel led to give her an alpha leaflet. We had a shorter conversation, a nice conversation, but I did give her one of the cards that I often give to people I talk to now, with 3 scriptures on and my mobile number, so that if someone ever thinks of it again, they could possibly ring me and we can continue our conversation. Anyway, long and short is, guys, it is possible. In the day-to-day, I think what happens with us is that it's not that I don't want to share the love of God with people, it's just that I forget, I get busy. But when I see a bench now, even if it's empty, I might go and sit on it and pray for the next person who may come and sit there. Or I may just go and sit down and start a conversation with someone. And ultimately, bench sense, the Holy Spirit will give us a sense of what to say to them, what's right for them. And I think we can do this. And it's like a prompt. See a bench, sit on it. Pray for who's going to come there. See a bench with someone on it, sit on it, speak to them. You never know what response you'll get. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope it's not too long. Lovely to talk to you. See you soon. Bye.